Actually, Arbor 1. The rest of them, I believe, are all the Arbor 1 cases you wanted me to find out about.
Yeah.
It just changed management, so it still says Beal.
Well, hold on. So I thought about that afterwards. So the 4 cases that I have that are Beal properties are really Arbor 1.
I think so. Although I have one, I need to grab my phone. One that we emailed a consent judgment in on, where we had the interpreter. I don't know if that was Beal.
I don't. All right, let me just try to get all this clear. All right, there's Mr. Robbins, right? I got you. Okay, just stay right there for a second. And Mr. Fry, you live in Arbor 1?
Yes, I do. Correct.
Okay, so that's Arbor 1. Mr. Robinson's Arbor. There, Maisha Sampson, Arbor 1. And Majaja. I knew I was going to mess it up. You knew I was going to mess it up. You just don't want to correct me. I got it. Miss Brown. All right. You're also Arbor 1. Okay, so we have a problem here because, folks, after the hearing, I was trying to figure out, because there's a larger circuit court case and federal court case, right?
Right.
And I was trying to figure out whether or not, some of these Arbor 1s started with me, then they went to the circuit court. Some of them got shipped over, or parts of it got shipped over to the federal court. And I'm trying to figure out who can transfer what and whether or not the places had certificates of compliance and whether or not I had the proper party. So what I did, counsel, is I emailed Alex Henry at Legal Services regarding Clark Road and Green Road, which I think everybody here is on one of those, right?
Yes, Green Road.
You're Green. Got it. Okay. And they told me, I asked whether or not, because I think it was Mr. Robinson that let me know that he was in Arbor 1. And I said, oh, well, this pleading, the case looks like it transferred ownership. And I didn't know if they could do that given the state of the apartments. Anyway, that being said. So I asked the question to Legal Services, who was handling it, and whether or not there were certificates of compliance. Now, they indicated to me regarding the ownership that the ownership has not changed, but then told me something I didn't know. But as of yesterday, and this was sent to me on April 16th, Beal Properties was no longer managing the company, was no longer the management company for Arbor 1, and that the new property management company was Ram Partners. And then there was a notice attached, right, to that. I'm sorry? What do you mean?
To the building. Immediately.
So do you have keys?
It's not
Oh, dear God.
So like 40, but how, luckily I didn't have my daughter be outside, and it was just random men. I didn't even know if we're able to trust them or to get them to switch off keys.
Okay.
Yeah, they did switch the keys to the doors to the entrance of the buildings, or the locks rather.
So did you get a key?
Not the key they gave me that I went to the office to get, it did not work. Neither did my old key.
Yours doesn't work? Your works. Okay, so the only people that can get in is Mr. Robbins. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Okay, so there's that. So there's a different management company
Can I make a comment on this, please? Because I feel like I'm all.
I know you look like you got a lot to say. Come on up. Yeah, when she gets up here. State your name again for the record.
Monasia Brown.
Okay, what do you want to tell me?
Okay, so about, 2 weeks ago, before the week of April 10th, Jessica Nice was a BO property manager, and she was inside. She's also on my papers for the eviction notice. But with Jessica, I signed this paper stating that due to the eviction notice at 721 West Clark Road, I am making the decision to avoid the eviction process and vacate the unit by May 29th. If anything changes regarding the date I choose to vacate, I will update the leasing office. Jessica put this on the printer. I have an email stating that she will forgive my balance. And then these people just up and left. So I'm talking to RAM and they say, we don't know anything about this. We can't help you.
Yep.
Just pay the balance that is transferred. But I have emails stating that when they fell out of compliance, even the beginning of this year, Jessica confirmed that they fell out of compliance. And I have that in email. Also, when I moved into my unit, I did not have anything new as I was supposed to.
Hold on. All right.
Hmm.
You probably have a lot to tell me about your situation.
Mhm.
Okay. I have and it's not that I don't want to hear it. I've got a bigger problem. Just in
general.
Yeah, because the cases aren't named right. Okay. So let me just finish my point so I now have RAM partners to the extent the management company has authority to bring cases in their name, which is also rather odd why these weren't brought in the name of Arbor One. But I have a feeling I know why, and I think some people didn't want me to know that they were necessarily Arbor.
Well, I think they took over, Your Honor, on April 17th.
Who?
RAM or
Well, RAM did.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming the people at RAM. I'm saying when these cases initially started coming here, why they weren't titled in the same way that every other Arbor One case comes before the court.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because ownership, to their knowledge, didn't change. These properties are still owned by Arbor One.
Right.
So first is I have the wrong plaintiff on these cases. To the extent that BO Properties had the authority to bring it in their name as opposed to Arbor One, sometimes that happens. That's fine, but now BO Properties is not involved. So I still, even to the extent they had that authority, they're no longer here. So the first thing that happens, and so you four know, I'm not doing anything on your case today because I don't have the proper plaintiff. I don't even know who the plaintiff is, really.
Wow.
Because your cases should have come to the court. If anything I've seen in the last 5 years, 6 years, they should have come in the name of Arbor One or Arbor One West. That's the way those cases have been listed, always. And then I get BO Properties, and it wasn't until somebody said something to me that all of a sudden it dawned on me last time we were here that these are Arbor One. So I don't know why, I don't know if somebody was trying to slide something past me. That's fine. You can keep trying. It ain't gonna happen.
I know that's right.
All right. So
Well, I just like to make it clear so these tenants know that was not our office or us that did that. I don't want them to think.
No, and that's fine. And I would agree with you that it was. I can see the pleadings, and that was not you guys. I think I know who it was, so I'll deal with them how I got to deal with them. So then the other part of this is they tell me that the buildings, so 721 Clark, 720 Green, 721 and 723 Green Road.
And
Either
they made me
have,
move. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
hold on a second, just
Okay.
real quick, I'll hear you, but that
No,
they
take-
have certificates of compliance or temporary certificates of compliance. That's what legal services represented to me. I don't know. But when somebody was issuing something to me, like disguising name, I gotta worry about everything that's going on. All right, Mr. Fry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say they moved me from 721 and 723 to 720 because Jessica said that they were condemning those. They didn't have compliance to
Still have paperwork
anybody
for
being
it.
in those units.
When was that?
It's before,
Man, I've been here maybe 2 months now. So I
When
was in
was
the
that?
building right next to the office, which is
in
721.
December of last year to a new unit because they said we had to vacate the other ones and
Right.
Yeah. So that was when all the mess was. Come on,
also the garbage.
huh?
The garbage.
All right. I hear you. What's your name, ma'am? All right. I want to ask what you did to your hand, but I don't want to know because I don't want to see that guy, whoever you hit.
No,
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna hit them at Bill.
All right. So, what were you trying to tell me?
They moved people. So I've been there 7 years at 721 West Clark Road. I watched them move people into my building and it wasn't in compliance.
Mm-hmm.
All of the other buildings are empty.
Boarded up.
I've been going through this.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have not driven out there because when the cases left me, I was kind of happy.
I'll be happy when I get all together and out of there. But right now, it's a rush. I'm dealing with this.
Okay.
And they just got to get it right. Like Jessica technically called me and said, hey, you know, anyone who's haven't paid their rent, you know, tell them don't, because we're not taking nobody to court. We actually leave. And she told me the 27th, but it's the 17th. And that's because I worked in the office with them or we were friends. So I was privy to a lot of things that other people weren't.
All right.
So then I talked to them at RAM and they said, well, hey, we're not taking anybody to court either. And I'm like, which makes sense because we just won here.
They don't even.
And she said that Jessica said that they were throwing it all out.
Well, I'm trying. So there's a couple of things here because when I also look at, like, I don't have an updated balance on Mr. Fry. What do you have owing on Mr. Fry's case?
Showing
I need balances on Fry and Mr. Robinson.
for Fry, I'm showing $1,982. And costs $175. The total $2,157.
Okay.
So I
And
have
for
my
Mr.
ledger here and it only says 1,000.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on. Okay. I'm just trying to get what they have right
Okay,
now,
sorry.
and then I'll talk to you. So what do you have for Mr. Robinson?
Robinson. $7,138.
Okay. 7,000. Go ahead. What
38 and then 175 in costs.
for a total?
73.13.
Okay. So here's what I'm trying to figure out. Now, hold on. Mr. Fry, what were you going to say about your ledger? And then I'll talk about the other three.
It just says issue a credit for a court order agreement, $1,000. It says minus 1,000, but negative 1,000. But I don't. That's what Ram printed up for me the other day when I went and got my key.
Okay. I have no idea what that means.
Okay.
So here's
I
the
was just bringing
thing.
it to your
When I
attention.
drip this out, when you got papers like that, I need you here in person so I can look at that.
Yes, sir.
Because and I get it while you're here. I get that. Okay, so so I don't know what that $1,000 means. But we're gonna have to, you do?
Just on the letter, they gave him a credit on December 31st, 2025, and it does comment on the credit is issue a credit for court order agreement.
Because
And that was the court ordered agreement in circuit court.
I do not know, but he went into January with his credit, and then he did balance begin until February 1st.
Okay.
Lower, the other one go back to like September.
Well, and that's, okay, so Mr. Fry, I'm gonna
Yes.
tell you this, you continue to listen, but